And we are live, Tesla Talks Podcast, episode 7. And you know what? Today's going to be a special episode. Welcome everyone who's watching. This is our first attempt at doing a live stream, so please bear with us if you're on YouTube for any little glitches or anything. We have a special guest today. He's probably one of the people that know the model side, the Model Y inside and out. Please welcome to the podcast, Ryan Shaw, everyone. Nice to have you. Yeah, there you go.
There's your first glitch.
Yes. Nice of you to join us. Nice to have you, Ryan. Thanks very much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we just watched one of your, and we'll get to it in a second. We just watched one of your walk around videos on the Model Y, the latest one. It just probably about an hour before this started.
Yeah, like an hour and a half ago or something.
Yeah. And we also have let's just say we also have Mark, the backseat baller. I was going to try to say a little funny joke there, but I'll leave that one out. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
You're a little delayed. I thought maybe, yeah. Oh, that way. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. You also, just like Ryan, one of the few people to actually get up close to a Model Y that actually doesn't own it yet, and there's only a handful of people that actually own them. So we're going to talk, if you're here for Tesla news in general, like Cybertruck and Model 3 and stuff like that, we're going to dedicate, and the title should say in the description, that we're going to talk exclusively about the Model Y today. Okay, so if you're here for any other kind of Tesla or any other kind of EV news, I apologize. Maybe catch us next week on the following one, or go back to one of our older episodes where we talk about other stuff like that. So before we get down to the Model Y stuff, if you've listened or watched any of our other, by the way, because we're live, if you have any questions and you happen to be watching this live, if you have any questions for Ryan or Mark or myself, not me, I don't know much about the Model Y. That's why I have these guys on. Just put it down in the comments below in YouTube, and we can go from there. I think you're a little bit delayed, Mark, but we'll work on that as we go. That's just StreamYard. There's nothing we can do about that. But you can hear us, though, right?
Yeah. And sometimes you freeze and your words coming out bad.
Yeah. If that continues, what I'll suggest you do, and just back out of the studio for a second and then come back, and just sometimes that helps. But
Ryan, is Ryan getting the same thing with you, or
no? Ryan, you can hear me.
I can see him fine. You're pretty delayed though.
Okay.
Yeah. So
let me jump and come back because I don't want to ruin the show.
Yeah, no, you're not ruining it. This is the nature of live broadcast and StreamYard, right? I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, if you want to duck out, because what I'm going to do. If you duck out, what I'm going to do is take 5 minutes before we start the Model Y stuff, and just introduce Ryan and then get him to tell us a little bit about himself, just like we do with all of our special guests.
Yeah, that'll be perfect timing. Perfect. Go.
Okay, go ahead. Ryan, like I said, everyone we get on here, we just do a quick little Q&A. It's not even a Q&A. It's not even an AMA. It's just like we just want to get to know you. I'm sure everyone that's watching this knows of you, and especially anyone that's interested in the Model Y stuff. So I'll just ask you first and foremost, where are you from?
I was born in Texas, and I grew up in Washington, Oregon, and then San Diego. And then I went to school in Los Angeles, and now I live in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow, cool. So
yeah,
everywhere basically warm.
Yeah.
That's good.
I guess Washington gets kind of cold, but not like real cold.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So cool. And what got you into EVs or even Tesla? What was your first experience with them?
With Tesla, I've always been into tech in general. Like I'm not as much so anymore. I still have a lot of Apple products, but I used to be super into Apple, and Tesla's kind of taken over for me. But in probably about 8 years ago or so, I really wanted to get a Model S. It was just the coolest car ever to me. I liked that it was electric. You don't have to get gas. You can charge it. Then I liked all the autopilot features, and I just researched everything, like to the point where like I thought it was the coolest thing ever that there's a frunk, and that obviously the frunk's a great feature, but it's not like you need to buy a car because it has a frunk. But that, to me at the time, I was like, I have to do this. But obviously I was a freshman in college and I couldn't afford a Model S at all. So it kind of dwindled for a little bit, my interest. But then over the last couple of years, it came back with seeing the Model 3. And then I wanted to get a Model 3, but I would look at it at the stores, and I'm a drummer full time.
Yeah.
So seeing it, I know I could fit drums in there, but it would just be kind of annoying. I'd probably have to use the back seats.
Yeah.
And so I just decided, I looked at the Model Y and I was like, you know, this would be perfect for me. So I pre-ordered it, and then I just decided to make a video talking about pre-ordering it because I've seen a lot of Model 3 channels, and I've always been into video stuff as well. So I did a couple videos, and then I noticed people were watching, so I just kept making videos, and yeah, it's grown. I can't even believe how much it's grown and how many views my videos get now. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, well, you know, you're very informative. You put out great quality videos. So I mean, there's no surprise why you actually get the viewers and the counts that you do. Yeah, no, you put out good stuff. And I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, I'm one of these guys. I'm sure Mark is too, where we obsessively, sometimes to the point, our wives will say, that we try to take in so much Tesla related stuff that I can't remember exactly how I stumbled upon you or when I first saw your channel, but as soon as I saw it, I'm like, this guy knows his stuff. And then you got a haircut, and I almost didn't recognize you. Yeah. But it's funny you say, and Mark, I don't know if you heard that one part when Ryan was saying how he first got into Tesla. It's funny how everyone I've talked to before they get their car or they get into Tesla, it says the same thing, that what attracted them to it is the Model S. And it's same thing. It's the Model S, and then we realized it's too expensive, and then we waited and yeah.
Actually, no, for me, it was the 3, plain and simple. I'm like, it was priced right, ready to go. Really, when he asked, I'm like, Tesla's okay, but I didn't think of anything because, again, I do a lot of driving in the day. So I just said, electric vehicle is not for me. I was at that mindset. And then when the 3 came out, 500 kilometer range, or for you, 330 miles, then it was like, oh, no, this will work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, other than the drums and your profession stuff, do you need it as a family hauler or strictly for utility?
Yeah, not at this point. I'm getting married in a couple months, so I have a fiance, but other than that, we have a cat, so he doesn't take up space if we take him anywhere.
Yeah, unless he's a big cat, he could fit in one of those back pockets.
That's true.
Not that I would recommend anything. I should ask you, and Mark and I live fairly close to each other. We won't get into the whole topic of what's going on in the country, but really basically globally. But everything's good. Everything's fine. You're
for me,
now? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've just been staying in. The only thing I did was went out to Carlsbad yesterday, saw 2 people. It was the guy and his wife who had the Model Y, and we checked it out. They were super nice, but I haven't had contact with anyone, specifically like avoiding my parents. They live really close, but we're not going over there because they're in that high risk age group.
Yeah. So. No, I think anyone that I know in our age group type of thing, without divulging our ages, we have parents that are susceptible in that age group.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to be careful. But anyone at home or anyone watching this live, or all you guys, just do what you can and be careful. And we, like I said, I don't want to bring this video or this podcast into a downer, but we'd be remiss if we didn't, mention it and make sure everyone's doing good. And you're doing good too, right, Mark? I know you're.
Yeah, we're okay here. I mean, my stepson keeps going out, and I keep giving him heck for that. But the young ones, right? He's like, I'm 26, I'm fine, and I'm like, well, your mom and I are not.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's the young people. You wonder how do you? Luckily, my kids aren't teenagers, but you wonder how you keep them, grounded without being grounded. Anyways, I just wanted to touch on that. And getting back to your a little bit about you, Ryan. You have a Model Y on order, And
Mhm.
are you just what's the status of it now? Are you anything confirmed, or are you still in
No.
holding pattern?
Yeah, it just says prepare for delivery, which it was exciting at first, and then we realized everyone's said prepare for delivery, like including the 7-seaters and rear-wheel drive, like everything. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm imagining they'll deliver fairly quickly because they're doing already the all-wheel drive with the induction wheels. I think the Gemini wheels would make sense next, but yeah, we'll see what happens and how far back it goes. Like the guy I saw yesterday, he ordered in January, so it's
Really?
weird. Yeah.
Yep, that's
Could
you
it
know
be
what?
could it be regional?
No, I don't think
To
Sorry,
so.
me, it
we're
seems like they like make the cars they're gonna make and then ship them to where they want to ship them and then find someone. That's kind of how it seems to be going so far.
And you know what? That's how it seemed to have gone with the 3 launch too, and the delivery side. I mean, give them credit. They've got a lot of workload and a lot of stuff to get through. I get it, but
Mhm.
it doesn't sound. I mean, I know we're within the first week, not even through the first week of Y deliveries, but from where it's starting now, and from what I've heard, just like what you've heard, Ryan, it seems like it's going that route where it's almost a crapshoot. I mean, here in Canada, the very first person to get their Model 3 in Canada, I think it was Steve Lloyd, a guy here in Ontario, and when I asked him, like, if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't one of the day one guys.
Yeah.
So it's a crapshoot. Welcome to the Tesla delivery experience. Buckle in because it'll be a exciting ride.
Mhm.
So you're saying if I order today, there's still a chance.
There's still a chance, but there's still a chance.
I mean, if you ordered performance, probably get it pretty soon.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
with the 21-inch wheels.
Yeah. Well, we're up in Canada, so who knows? But I doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
no,
forgot about that Canada part.
Yeah, they're saying for Canada, and someone is asking me this because I run a Facebook group for Model Y for Canadians too, which, like I said, I put a post up there yesterday. It's mainly for Canadians, and because most of the other groups are international or US and stuff like that. But you don't have to be Canadian. If you want to just search for a Model Y Canadian group, and you're not from Canada, you're more than welcome. We don't discriminate depending on where you are or anything like that. So, but yeah, no, someone was asking me that, and I see one of the these questions here in a chat. Not that we'll get to questions right now, but while it's staring me in the face, For Big Face asked, any idea when a Model Y will start deliveries in Canada? They're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, they're saying June.
Yeah,
but
mid-June.
But you know what? I mean, seeing how everything else is advanced and sort of ahead of schedule, you never know. Maybe May, maybe one month. We don't know for sure, but you never know. Maybe 1 month.
Something inside of me tells me the opposite, just because of the C and the 9.
True.
That's the only thing I think is going to kind of backlog a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You got to keep that.
Because there's going to be, even if Tesla keeps producing, there's going to be people who don't want to take delivery or can't take delivery. And I feel like unless it suddenly turns around, it's going to end up getting to a point where I feel like Tesla's going to be affected.
Yeah. Well, which brings us to a good point right now. I've read somewhere, but I didn't read the whole article. I apologize. I was one of those headline readers where it said something about the state of California. The government has told businesses to shut down or manufacturing. Is that true, Ryan? And
Tesla it is. I don't know entirely. It's like only essential business is allowed to continue, and Tesla, I guess, somehow is considered essential business. I don't mean to say somehow to look down on it, but they're somehow exempt, at least currently. So
yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm still thinking hopefully Canada will be on time, but Mark, you bring up a good point. You never know with everything. If Fremont does eventually shut down, then obviously that's going to mean a delay for everyone. Hopefully, Ryan, you get yours before that. Or correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. They've been pumping them out for a while, right? Before deliveries even started. on
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of photos.
Stockpiling?
And, like a backlog of, yeah.
And any educated guess to how many they probably stockpiled?
The only thing I could go off of is VINs, and we've seen like close to 2,000 or a little more, maybe. So that's the only thing I can go off of for that estimation.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, 2,000, that's a better start already right out the gate than the Model 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So,
sorry
no, go ahead.
Did you see there's from Craig? He's asking a question here.
Oh, you can see it now?
Yeah. So,
get your glasses on.
Yeah, Ryan, he says, I saw your latest video, the walkthrough, best video so far in the Y. We ordered the same one, all-wheel drive, pearl white. I think he means pearl, sorry. It wasn't me, it was typo. So I'm looking forward to see when you get yours. And then he's saying, have you or anyone seen a Y with the white interior? I have.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So that was the one that you saw, right?
Yeah.
But,
which was a test vehicle. And it was actually like literally, I don't know what they're going to do with that vehicle. It cannot be sold. It was pretty beat up, and wasn't like they had everything, all the insides also pulled apart.
Yeah. Well, it's a manufacturer vehicle, right? For testing and stuff like that. So that's probably, I don't know if you know, Ryan, there was one a few weeks ago, maybe a little longer than a month ago, spotted in Toronto up here, and then it went all the way out to our neighboring province in Quebec. It was spotted, and then all the way northern Ontario. So it got around quite a bit.
Yeah.
So us up here in the Great White North, we're speculating that it was probably winter testing or cold climate testing.
It was. I can confirm that it was cold climate, winter, snow, all the above, to send the data and readings back to Tesla.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well,
but Craig, I don't think we've seen the Model Y delivered with the white interior yet. But we've seen people get delivery confirmations, so probably within a couple weeks.
Cool. If you have a question, just leave it down below, or even a comment or something. We'll get to it. Like now, like maybe as we're talking, we'll get to it or stuff like that. But if not, we'll get to it near the end. We're just going to go through. You know what? We might as well start with your video. I mean, it's fresh and foremost up in our mind. You want to? We'll go with Ryan's video first, and then we'll talk about your video afterwards, Mark.
Mine's old now.
Well, his is a little more recent, and he had the interior stuff. Do you want to talk about how? Is it anything that, without using names or anything, can you talk to us about how you came about getting your hands on that Midnight Metallic one?
Yeah, I think I posted in the Tesla Motors Club forum, and then just said, like, if you're anywhere near Los Angeles, let me know. I'd love to come check out your Model Y. And this guy, Rod, I don't actually even know his last name still, but he reached out and he emailed me and then just said, like, we're getting delivered at 3 p.m. Would you want to come check it out? And he was super nice, like working everything out. And to the point where we found a location where I could even fly the drone, because the delivery center's in like a no-fly zone. So we drove like 8 minutes away from there and found a location to film. And it's actually his wife's car. He has a Model 3 and she's replacing her Model X with the Model Y. And so they were both really into Tesla in general, and they both watched my channel. So they were really cool. They just kind of enjoyed watching me film it, which was awesome. They were just standing there, and it was getting kind of cold and windy, and they were just standing there watching me film. And
whoa. What do you mean by cold? What's your definition of cold?
I was
California cold. Yeah.
You beat me on that.
50?
Yeah.
Below 50?
No. In Fahrenheit, yeah. Fahrenheit, 15's in the Fahrenheit.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying 50 because I'm trying to accommodate our one of our guests as Fahrenheit. But if you know Celsius, we'll talk Celsius because it's hard for us.
I don't actually know Celsius.
Okay.
No, I use Fahrenheit too.
Yeah, Mark is one of the oddball Canadians.
Yeah, I'm a weird one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know the ballpark of Fahrenheit, but it's not exact. I mean, I know Fahrenheit 50 Fahrenheit, it's probably, don't tell me, it's probably like 8 or 9, Mark? Is it?
No,
10?
it's higher up there. It's like
Is
12.
It? Okay.
Yeah.
50 is 10 in Celsius. I just converted it.
See, we were right in the middle. I said 8, you said 12.
You said 8, I said
Yes.
12.
Welcome to the podcast of metric, the metric podcast. So getting back to your video, we learned a lot. I mean, you went through that thing like with a fine tooth comb almost, which is good. How long did it take you? Like, how long were you out there in that parking lot?
It was probably like an hour and a half. I was moving pretty quick because I didn't want to. They were super nice, but obviously they just got their car and then just some random guys filming it. So they were really nice about it, but I tried to go pretty quick. Yeah. Definitely measurements I want to get, but I think I can get them over the next couple of weeks with other people's cars or if I get mine. But yeah, and he was super helpful about like, oh, you should pay attention to the panel gap or you should pay attention to the frunk or whatever, because he knows everything about Tesla.
Yeah. What's your take on panel gaps? I know Mark and we talk about it all the time. What's your take on panel gaps? Is it a big concern to you? Or are you?
No. If the car door shuts, fine. And
yeah, exactly.
I'm not a huge luxury car guy. Like Tesla's like the only luxury car that I would buy.
I was going to ask you, what if you don't mind me asking, and if you don't, then I mean, I know I'm sort of putting you on the spot. I apologize. What are you coming from?
I'm coming from a 2008 Honda Fit, so
that's right. You
did mention that. Yeah, it's going to be a big upgrade.
Yes,
for sure.
Now, was that the electric version back then?
No.
Because didn't Honda do some hybrid or electric?
They have done they've done an electric Fit, I think, but
it was short-lived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, like I said, hopefully you get yours soon. There was another question. Mark, do you have a question? Because there was something I was going to ask him, and I'm drawing a blank right now regarding his video.
No, that's what I mean. Like, it was good that you noticed. Same thing with the cameras. That's one of the early things. But no, going back to the gap, I mean, the one that I saw, again, which was the test vehicle, the gaps on there were that I could not live with. The trunk, I could literally, no joke, put my finger into that.
Oh, yeah.
But the riser, did you note, like, the way that riser was for the front seats? Did you find that they were, like, sturdy, not sturdy? Like,
yeah, I didn't even honestly notice them.
Okay.
Yeah, like
because I know
you just sit high.
The vehicle, yeah, you sat literally just you were showing like, oh, here's how I can sit in here and then go in, right? So I just thought if maybe you noticed them or really check them out a bit.
No, I mean, I saw Tesla Raj. He posted a video where he like measured it and everything and got down there and showed it. But yeah, when you're getting in the car, you don't really think that it's sitting on risers. You just see how high the seat is, and it's really easy to get into. I think it's going to solve that problem for anyone that had that with the Model 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No. I saw Raj's video too, and Raj, every time we do a podcast and your name comes up, and I keep looking at right in the camera and saying, you better get on my podcast. We're working on it. But yeah, no, Raj's video was good. What I liked about you, Ryan, in your video, and maybe Raj did in his, I forget because his was a few days ago and yours is fresh in my mind because I literally just watched it within the last hour. Was when you were in the front and you were talking about being 5'10", and no, actually you didn't mention 5. Well, anyways, when you were in the front and you said how you could, because of the risers, how you could sit straight down into it. You didn't have to sit into it, or like you were basically turn around, sit, and you're in the seat because of the risers. And I noticed that I used to have a small SUV before too, and I did like that. I'm not a tall guy, so I don't have to worry. So when I go down into the car, yeah, you are going down because it's a sedan, and I have some friends that complain about it, some bigger friends. But yeah, definitely the Model Y by the looks of your video. And by the way, we're talking about Ryan's video. If anyone's listening or watching now or after the fact and hasn't seen Ryan's video, I'll put a link in the description below. But go just on YouTube, just pause this right now and do a search for Ryan Shaw Model Y. No, you'll get a lot of your Ryan Shaw Model Y, and then just look for his latest video.
And that's the latest one up there. It should pop up hopefully first, but we'll see.
It's about 12 or 13 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so look for that one. I know a lot of yours are shorter, within the under 10 minutes, and this one's a little longer because you needed the time to walk around.
This
but
one has me actually next to the car. That's what distinguishes this, because I try to make sure I'm clear about it, like that I'm not with the car in these videos, and then this one I'm like, yes, I'm with the car.
Yeah, you're with the car.
People are so sensitive on that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
They click on a video and it's not what they thought it was.
Clickbait, clickbait. Why did you do that to me?
Yeah, we're not going to go into the clickbait stuff because
did I bring that up?
I saw those, yeah.
I've experienced the clickbait firsthand this past week, and you know what can you do?
That's why I messed with him in the Twitter chat there.
Yes, yes, and that's
I saw that.
Yeah. In case anyone doesn't know, I know Mark very well, so that's why I called him what I did call him, and I could get away with it. But also later in your video, when you did mention your height and you were in the back seat and you're showing me how it reclines and everything like that, that's one of the first times from the videos I've seen, the handful of videos. I know Raj had one, like I said, I don't recall if he did it, and some other people had them, where they were in the back seat, or you were in the back seat, and you were able to show us how it reclines. And what I found very interesting in yours is how, with someone your height, when it reclines that much, you were saying how your head starts to bump a little bit.
Yeah, it's bumping the beam that's behind you, because you know the Model 3, the beam is behind the driver and passenger side, and this time it's moved behind the rear seats, so it gives you better glass roof. But it did, it's, if we were driving, I would be bumping it like if it was a bumpy road. So if I or someone any taller than 5'10" was sitting back there, you pretty much couldn't be all the way reclined. But anywhere any further forward, it adds like 4 inches because you have the glass roof there, not that beam.
Yeah. No. Oh well, 5'10" to me is a giant, but yeah, I know it's probably the average height.
There's people asking like, I'm 6'4", can I fit in this car? You know, so.
Yeah, I'd like to see Brian in one.
I was going to say
Tesla.
Our buddy Brian, he's
in the back seat.
6'6" or 6'7", 6'5". He's tall. I mean, if I think you're tall, Ryan, being 5'10", Brian is just another step. But he's got one ordered. He's got the all-wheel drive just like you, and he's waiting for that one. And he'll have no problem in it because the fronts will be the same. And as people that drive the car, as us that own the car, seldom, if ever, are we ever in the back seat. So for us, oh yes, you're the back seat ball. Yes, Mark is sorry. Yeah, that's pretty funny, Mark.
In the back seat.
You are always in the back seat. Yes. Before we go any further, we're gonna get back to your video in a second, Ryan. There was Craig Thomas. And maybe you can answer this because you were inside. He was wondering about the interior. And what I think he's talking about is probably the center console. He's asking if it's the same as the 3. Basically, did it look the same dimension-wise? That if he was to order one of those vinyl wrap kits on Amazon, he's wondering if it would fit.
I think so. It looks exactly the same to me. It might be deeper because the seats are on risers, but that shouldn't affect the wrapping. I think you'd be totally fine. It seems exactly the same to me, and I don't see why they would have changed that.
No. I mean, I'm asking you first and foremost because you were inside. I can ask Mark, but he saw from the outside. Whereas I have no opinion other than what I've seen pictures and videos online. But I would suspect that it's probably one of the 75% parts that they're reusing.
Yeah.
And
that's why the same thing. The seats are on the risers because they're the exact same seats as the 3.
Yeah.
They didn't have to put any filler in there.
Anyone here wonder about the piano finish for the center console, the glossy finish? Tesla changed. Why they kept it? Like, I mean, they changed or upgraded or enhanced so many other things from the 3 onto the Y to show that they actually listen to customers. But that's one of the things that I noticed that they didn't really change. I'm just curious if anyone had an opinion about that.
Maybe probably they already ordered 1 million of them.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's so backlogged in the orders that they have that it's there.
They're like, screw it, we're putting it in anyways. Okay. Getting back to your video, anything else that stood out to you, Ryan, that maybe you didn't get a chance to put into the video that maybe we would be a tidbit for us or of interest?
I think seeing some photos, every once in a while you'd get this thought like, oh, it kind of looks like a Prius. And seeing it in person, I didn't feel that way at all. It, like from the back, it looks very sporty. From the side, you see the curve, but it makes a lot of sense in person, and it doesn't look ugly to me at all. Because yeah, some certain photos you're kind of like, wait a second. But yeah, that was one of the biggest things that struck me about it, seeing it in person. And also the 21-inch wheels are way bigger than I expected. They look really big on the car.
Yeah, they must be, eh?
Yeah, it's funny when you look like going from an 18 or a 19, the 19s that I saw, even from a 21, it's such a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those 21s next to our little measly little 18s that we have on our car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Franklin, what's he doing?
Yeah, he's saying, tell him to ask the question.
No, he's throwing money in the super chat. Don't do that. Don't. This isn't like Chris and Dirty Tesla where you're gonna make me put in an order because here it's different. But
the trunk opening up like that, it's just a big wide mouth. That is just so awesome. You can put so much in there. The only thing for me was really the front. That's the only thing that kind of puts me off on it going by the 3, because here it is a lot bigger. Looking at the front, I want to say the fascia of it. I think that's the only thing that to me that kind of is a little bit bigger, wind drag. But again, it is a big vehicle. But I've seen it in person actually twice because I saw it again today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I really, really like it. Yeah.
You saw it again today, did you?
Yeah.
Was there an issue doing a video, or you just didn't?
No, I didn't do it. No. Okay. I did what I needed to do already. Yeah.
The same one you saw?
Oh yeah, that's the only one that's here in Canada.
Okay. That's good. That's what I was thinking.
It hasn't been shipped back yet. Yeah, that's why I'm like, why am I going to do it? Unless I can get inside, then. And I was told if I break the glass, I can get inside, but I'm not going to do that. So
you can get inside. It's in jail. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, don't need to do that.
Yeah.
So a Prius, eh? Because you know what? It's funny you say that because I certainly don't think it looks like a Prius, but a lot of people are relating it to. It looks very similar from the back end as the X. Do you see that?
Yeah, I can definitely see that more so than. I mean, obviously it has similar headlights to the 3 and stuff, but when you see the shape and kind of the curve that it has, you know, it's not just like a box at the back. It has the aerodynamic shapes, and it's pretty clear that it's a lot more like the X than it is the 3, from the back at least.
Cool. Okay. Now, so you didn't freeze. I'm still here. I was just reading some of these questions. No. Sorry. I'm just a little slow on the buttons right now. No, that's, you know what? I'm glad to get your take on it. Your opinion on that, Mark?
Sorry. The other thing too, that I know you were at the back of the trunk. Did it have the spoiler, the added?
Yeah, it did.
It did. Okay.
Pointed it out, yeah. No, I did, and which is good. You know, once again, it goes to show that Tesla is learning, because how many Model 3s performance got delivered and they said, "Come back for the spoiler, or we'll mail you your spoiler." and stuff like that. So it's good to see that they're got their stuff in order and they're doing it straight out of delivery.
And the frunk with that extra enclosure, that seems really, really interesting. I mean, if there's heavy rain, I can get some rain, like water droplets in mine. But for me, it's not a big deal. I don't, but I'm just saying that it does happen. So it's interesting how they actually, that's a huge seal that's around. It's not small. It's not like just put something.
It's not very heavy though.
No? Well, I was going to ask you.
No, when I grabbed it and pulled it down, pulled it on the hood, it's pretty light.
What's the material? Is it a rubberized material, or is it like a foamy sponge?
Yeah, it's kind of a mix. I couldn't name exactly, but it's definitely light, but it's kind of rubbery, and yeah,
okay.
But it didn't seem solid. It almost seemed like the rubber came down and you could actually put your fingers underneath it, that seal. Am I right in what I'm seeing?
I don't
not
think
that you're going to put anything in there. I just mean the way the seal goes around there,
like a door seal. how it's like
Yeah.
on itself?
Yeah. No? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, what I was going to ask you too, while we're talking about the trunk and front and stuff like that, those two buttons on the left-hand side to remotely put the seats down. I know it's I mentioned in one of my videos, I know it's no ingenious earth-shattering idea. There's a lot of other SUVs that do that. But most of the ones I've seen, now, granted, I haven't seen a lot of the luxury SUVs or CUVs, but just the regular, the Toyotas and Hondas and stuff like that, they're very mechanical. That's almost like on a wire, almost, it seems. Now, you were mentioning in your video, Ryan, that it seems like it's very electronic, very like an actuator of some sort.
Yeah.
And when you were reclining, showing us the height difference, the height thing you were saying when you're 5'10", when you were reclining, is it just me or did I hear a little mechanical?
Yeah, you can hear it.
Yeah. Okay, I thought I heard that.
You can hear like gears turning.
Yeah.
It's moving back for you.
And now that's all electronic?
It seems that, I mean, it does definitely fall down and then it doesn't come back up like by itself. You have to pull it back up. And I did notice the seats are actually kind of heavy when you pull it back up yourself.
Huh.
But other than that, yeah, like when you press the recline button, it's not like you press it and then use your body weight. You press it and it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems when you're doing it, it's very like smooth into each position instead of just like back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I that's good to know. It's good to know. I'm excited to actually see it. You know what? It was one of the things, and I don't know if you were the same way, Mark. When I got my 3, or when I ordered it, I had no issues getting it sight unseen, like so many other people. And not to say I have an issue with the Y sight unseen, but I really want to see it in person. So I was in a hurry for the 3. I'm in no hurry for the Y. I think what I'm hoping for, and maybe you can shed some light on that, Ryan, is I'm waiting probably, if anything, for the SR Plus version of the Y. So I don't know if that's 2021. I don't know if that's end of the year. Was it your video or there's someone video I was watching? When you watch so much Tesla videos, sometimes everything just melts into together. But I was watching somebody's and or maybe I was reading something. Anyways, they were saying that it looks like the 7-seater option may come a little sooner than. And I mean, I don't know if that's an educated guess or if that came from some inside information, but they mention it in terms of possibly because this one is the whole delivery session is ahead, so it only makes sense that the whole thing would be ahead.
Yeah,
and move everything up.
I'd be curious if they deliver the 7-seater all-wheel drive and performance before they get to rear-wheel drive or standard range, if they're doing the rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're even going to do it anymore. Exactly.
That's a topic we've talked about back and forth on this podcast for a little bit, and I try to get everyone's take. So I'll ask you, do you think they'll even make a rear-wheel drive?
I think so, because I think for them, they could just fulfill the pre-orders and basically make a standard range with a bigger battery pack, depending on how they're going about that. I think they'll do it. And at least fulfill the pre-orders, because they've got to have a lot of people that pre-ordered the rear-wheel drive. That was a really popular option at the announcement event. Yeah,
I think they'll probably alienate, or if not tick off a lot of people. Now, when I say rear-wheel drive, for people at home, I'm talking about rear-wheel drive, large battery pack, not SR Plus, because more than likely the SR Plus will be a rear-wheel drive. But it'd be interesting, an SR Plus in an all-wheel drive. But I guess, that'd be interesting.
I had someone ask about that, if they're going to make like a standard range all-wheel drive.
That would be that'd be interesting to know. That would be perfect for me. Before we go any further, Darren Workman, I don't know if he's still here. He had a question. Did you hear I guess, Ryan, you were there with it. Mark, maybe you could answer. You can't answer because yours was parked. But did you hear if there was a pedestrian warning system on the car?
That was something. So this guy's very into Tesla that got it, and he asked the employee. I was there when he was getting delivered, and the employee said yes, and he told him where it was. But then the guy who got the delivery, he was like, I don't hear it, and he said he doesn't think that it has it. But we like because we were in the shop where they were repairing a bunch of cars, you know, and so all these Model 3s were going around, and the new ones had it, but the Y, when he drove it off, we didn't hear anything. So we don't think that it does.
Good to know, because you're not the first person. I watched, once again, mixing up all these videos, watched someone else had a video and they didn't hear it either. It may have been Ryan. It may have been Raj's video. But yeah, they didn't.
The tester one did not have it.
Yeah. So is that something they would just add once it's required? Like
I would assume
it's supposed to be by law. Yeah, it was supposed to be by law.
I would assume hardware is in there.
2019.
Well, hold on. Law even down in Cali?
That's a good question. I don't actually know the details. He said September 2020, but that's just what he said. The guy that got delivered. I don't know how accurate.
Yeah, because I know up here we're grandfathered in. It's not even a law, is it? No, it's not.
No. Yeah, all electrical vehicles coming out after. I thought it was September 2019 had to have it. So Elon said, "I'm being proactive."
Exactly, but to answer people's questions at home, if they're thinking before they even think, if you don't have one, like Mark and our car doesn't have one because ours are 2018s. We're grandfathered in. We don't have to. We're not obligated to go get it retrofitted or put on. But that's a good question to know. I think the hardware is in there, the little speaker and stuff like that in there. I think it's just not turned on, whether it's because of a software limitation or a software whatever. Because you never know. I mean, it is a different software they're going to have to use for the Y than the 3. So maybe it's just something that's not turned on. Look at when the 3 first came out. There was a lot of features that weren't turned on and or didn't work until the software matured. I mean, I remember Trevor when he first got his hands on the Model 3 down in the States, and he was looking through it, and he said after, not in the video, but he said afterwards, he says the software back then, and it was one of the first Model 3s. He said it was so glitchy and so needed work. It was so unrefined that it was crashing all over the place and all the time. So that's not, like I said, that's not just from him. I remember him telling me that and telling other people that, but I've heard that from other people too. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see as hopefully the software matures and stuff gets ironed out and maybe polished on it.
Yeah.
So Mark, how did you? I'm going to ask you about your video. We're going to go back and forth to both your videos and stuff like that. But touch on yours, because you, I know you didn't stumble across it. It seemed like you did, but I know you said that there was some thought and some plan put into it.
No, there wasn't.
No? Okay. Well, you lied to me.
Look, I saw the tweet and I knew the location, and I said earlier, I just hustled out there, and you know, the lot was empty and I can't say much else about that. And then I had about an hour to do filming. Perfect.
And you brought up you found a good thing that a lot of people didn't notice, and I just saw your videos are doing great, by the way. Your video was actually featured a few places,
not like his.
Ryan's video is gonna do like all his other videos do amazing.
Yeah, he's rocking it.
Yeah, he's not small like us, right? But what I did, like I said, one thing that the guys from Now You Know, Zach and Jesse, picked up on your video. By the way, if somebody comes in behind me as we're doing this, I apologize. I just heard my wife come home, so I'm not in a big YouTube studio. I'm at home, so bear with me. If she does, she shouldn't, but if she does. But anyways, yeah, Zach and Jesse were mentioning how you pointed out the small little opening for the B-pillar cameras.
Yeah, that was the very first thing, because again, I mean, it's, you know, as you're walking around, that's one of the things you see. And right away, I'm looking at it going, that's a pretty small hole. Like it compared
Mhm.
to ours, which was really good because
You
I
should have
have
titled the
that.
video that. That's a very small hole. Anyways.
You know, we're live, right? It's not like you can edit it out after a bit.
I know. Go ahead. Did I make you lose your train of thought? I
No.
apologize.
So yeah, I was just like leaving it there. Okay. Just like my greasy hands all over the car, right? My crooked fingers that I was complaining about somebody there.
Yeah, you're saying some people were complaining that you were touching the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you touch a car that's not yours? If I was the owner, I'd beat you. Like, well,
You had
you
no
don't
issues,
know.
eh, Ryan? The owner didn't
What?
complain that you were touching the car.
No, he was happy about it, so I was lucky
Yeah.
there.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
But anyways, like I said, it's a test vehicle, and I may or may not have permission to do that. So that's all I can say.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, right away, that's what I saw. And again, I have that issue a lot during the day when I'm on the major highways or freeways, the sun shining in and blocking the cameras. So I think they're already ahead of the game, knowing that that was an issue. And that's why they made the camera. It's almost like it's tucked inside. Or Ryan, you saw it, and
Yeah.
I know you pointed it out too. It's almost like the
Mhm.
camera's tucked inside, so it won't get blocked. So that's really interesting. I would
Yeah.
like to know if we could actually switch ours, but I think it's thinner at the start and then down. But it
Yeah.
would be cool if they switch ours eventually.
Oh,
I mean,
they-
I'd pay for it.
I don't think they're going to switch it. They may
Yeah.
put it on newer manufacturing
Yeah.
of threes. Yeah. But like just midline
No, I
or
don't
something.
mean like they're gonna switch it. Like, hey guys, here we go. I meant like I like as a option, right?
Really?
Yeah, I like to pay for it
Yeah.
eh?
afterwards.
You pay for
Yeah.
that?
I would.
It bothers you that much? Or?
I happens so much,
Oh,
and
really?
I'm on the road a lot compared to other people. So for me, I mean, I wouldn't pay a couple $1,000s, but if it's a couple hundred for each side, I'd do it.
What do you know that Tesla has for a couple $100s? Don't hold your breath is what I'm saying. No,
Quite a few things. I replace a light. The other thing, yeah, the biggest thing, which no one else actually has been talking about, I don't think Ryan did, correct me if I'm wrong, was the nozzles, the sprayers on the wiper blades.
yes.
Oh yeah,
Well, see,
You did notice it, or
he may not have noticed it because
I didn't. Yeah,
because he didn't have
Some-
something to compare. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. He didn't have something.
oh right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. So I don't know how that I caught it. I just by looking at it and everything on there, and then I looked down and I'm like, that looks like a spray nozzle, and it's got 4 on each one. So that splitter and then the 2 on the side. So I think it's going to do a lot better because I know my driver's side. I wish it cleaned a little bit better. It's not a complaint. I love my Tesla, so I'm not complaining about it like one bit. It's got its quirks, but
yeah.
Just bringing this up. It's just while we're talking, I should have done this earlier. Just see a picture of it.
what
now
is
I know you
that?
can't-
What is that?
That's a 3. I mean, sorry, that's a Y.
I got him.
It's-
I got him. I got him live.
Now, getting back for a second, Mark, about the that side pillar camera. Now, you compared it side by side with yours. Other than the opening being smaller, did it seem that it was a different camera too? Or was the camera itself physically smaller?
No, it seemed the same, but the grayish tint around there. It's the camera itself seemed the same.
Okay. Did it seem recessed back in a little bit more?
Yeah, so it was almost like there was the shield covering it, and then it's because again the cameras point down, so you don't really need to be on the side. And if you look at our Sentry mode footage too, you can tell the way that's why the way it's aiming down. Oh no, sorry, we don't see from that camera. Right, I'll stop there. When we look at the footage that Green the Only shows,
Yeah.
that's so you can see the way that camera's actually pointing down. Not to the side. So if I was to stand on the side of the car, it wouldn't catch my face, right? It would be like here down.
Yeah, true. I was just curious about it. Did you notice? Now I know you said you didn't notice the cameras. Did you notice if anything was different from the backup camera?
No, backup camera was the same. I wish they changed it, or they had the spray nozzle, or it was hidden. But I guess, you know what, our cars, we can't hide it because it's part of the autopilot system.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, to put a nozzle back there, it is a lot of work. I get it. And maybe it won't be as bad as the 3 because it's higher up.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. And the way the trunk is, because right now, Dax, I don't know if you notice that you'll actually see the water spilling over the trunk and spilling onto the camera as we drive.
Oh, really?
You can clean it up, and then, you know, a couple minutes later, that's it. It's
you're talking about the back of the camera. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things people want me to test. I mean, not that specifically, but water going into the trunk area itself.
Yeah, because
like
I was thinking the same thing, because you were able to open it. So when I look at it open too, I'm like, snow could still, not that you have to deal with that in Cali, but snow, when it actually goes up, it would still hit the top of the roof and could come down.
Yeah.
You know? But I had this issue with my BMW. I mean, not as bad as here, but it did come in.
Yeah.
On my 3.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to read some of the stuff as we're talking. How did you notice, Ryan? Did you get a chance to play with the adjustable hatchback? How you can do the different?
I didn't actually do that, but I know you can. You just bring it manually down. I don't know, how far down. It seems you can go pretty far down to whatever level and then have it set there. So then every time after that, it'll open to that setting.
Okay. Now, when it was open to the, I guess, I'm assuming the default is probably the highest one. Did it look high enough for most tall people? Keeping in mind, everyone's tall. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's very tall.
I mean, you said you're 5'10", right? So if you look at it, looks like you still got quite a bit in there.
Yeah, I could even look. I mean, even in just the thumbnail for the video is a photo with me and next to the hatchback. Let me see.
Gotcha.
That one at the end, yeah. that was at the end of the video when you're talking, right?
Yeah, it's still, that gives you an idea, right?
Let me do something here. Okay.
Yeah, there's like 4 inches above. If I were to just walk straight, if I was 4 inches taller, I'd probably smack my head.
Okay, so poor Brian or anyone over 6'2" would have an issue. But you know what? They probably have an issue on
with any car.
Any car,
You're gonna have to bend down the trunk.
Yeah. See, I don't have that issue. I've never had that issue, but most people probably have that issue.
Because he's 4'4", right?
Yes, exactly. There was one here. Somebody asked, what I was actually, this is a good question because I was going to ask you too, because it wasn't in the video. Well, there was in the video and I couldn't tell if it was you. Did you get a chance to drive it, Ryan?
I didn't drive it myself. I rode in the back, but we didn't go on a freeway or anything. So we wouldn't have known noise wise.
Okay.
If it was better or worse than the 3, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's one of those things I'm definitely going to make sure to get in like the next video I do with whoever I can ride in their Model Y, like do some tests with like a dB meter, see what it's like.
Yeah. Well, I've heard some people with 3s now say that they're quieter than the previous 3. Was it Raphael Teslatino that I think somebody said that had an older one that has a newer one now, and it may have been him that said that it seems quieter.
The guy, like 3 videos ago, I made a video because that first guy got his delivered on Tesla Motors Club, and he posted a bunch of photos, and he was answering everyone's questions. And he's coming from a 3, or he still has a 3, and he said the Y is quieter than his 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know then. Jose S is asking a question directly at Ryan. Since you said it was about 50 degrees out when you were with the Y there, did you hear the heat pump at all?
No. I think actually the AC was on in the car. There was like, we noticed a puddle and we realized the AC was running the whole time, and it was like condensation from the AC, the drips. And so some people have already commented on that on the video, like, what's that puddle? Is that oil or something?
Yeah, it's oil. It's oil. It's
They
leaking through
notice
their tranny.
all the little things, eh? Like people just appreciate or not, but they gotta like find little details of the bad stuff or the stuff that's so meaningless.
There's always something. Like my last video, I didn't iron my shirt. There was this video, people are saying I'm wearing shoes that look like Mr. Rogers would wear.
Are you kidding me?
You just gotta roll. You just gotta roll with it.
Exactly.
That was like my jacket. The 70s are calling. They want the jacket back. I'm like, I just bought this 2 years ago.
Well, that's
like,
funny.
As long as they're funny. As long as the comments are funny. I had one today that said, like, so shiny, ... The car is shiny too.
Shoot.
So yeah, like I'll take those comments.
Yeah. It's witty or cute or whatever. That's fine. Listen, at the end of the day, unless it's personal or insultive, the way I look at it is if you can't make fun of yourself or you can't laugh at yourself, what's in it there? You know what I mean? Okay.
Well, that's why I did what in my video too. Like, and I said to him, like, Dax did not get to touch it when you were in Cali, and I'm touching the Y. Ooh, and I think that's what offended people. Yeah. But they don't know the whole background story, so that's why sometimes people just should.
And I didn't want to correct you at the time, but now that we're live, I'll correct you, Mark. I wasn't in Cali for the Y, so no, I wouldn't have touched it. Speaking of which, sorry. Ryan, did you get a chance to go to the Y party or event?
No,
I
didn't.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Cybertruck. Oops.
Yes. Oh yeah, and I apologize for wearing the Cybertruck hat, folks. I noticed it's all Model Y. I just before we went on, I said to these guys, I said, you know what? I'm too lazy, but I'm wearing a Cybertruck hat where we're talking all about the Y. We will get back. There's some interesting stuff going on with the Cybertruck and manufacturing locations and stuff. We'll get back to that next week. No one can be more excited about the Cybertruck than me. But
you have a fan.
Who?
Dax, you have a fan. Her name is Abby.
I know. I saw that. I was when you guys were talking, and a couple times I got distracted, and I told you I was reading stuff. I was reading that. At first, when I saw, I'm like, how did that? Who's? And I was just confused. But then, as I scrolled up or down, I realized what it was. Yes, yes. We will mention it. Ryan, what's your thoughts? I don't know if you ever mentioned it in a video. I might have missed it. What's your thoughts on the Cybertruck? I know it's a Model Y thing, but I'm just
you just said why? No.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious. He's a Model Y guy, so I want to know if he's put an order in. I don't think he has, and he can correct me if I'm wrong. But while I got you, I'm just curious your opinions on the looks, and don't worry if you're not offending anyone if you don't like it.
No, I mean, I think it's awesome. I ordered both of the RC cars.
Oh,
but,
cool.
Like the big one, so I'm thinking I could just put it behind me in videos. Yeah. And then the smaller one as well. Yeah. And those are coming out like November or something. It's still a ways off.
Yeah.
But I think it's awesome. And I'm just not a big truck person. Like, I like smaller cars. My first car is a Honda Fit. Yeah. My family's always had kind of smaller cars, and the Model Y is bigger than the Honda Fit, but it's still smaller-ish. It's not a full SUV. And yeah, the Cybertruck's really big. When you can like really consider the dimensions or use that VR app, I think a lot of people are going to see it in person and be like, oh, like this is huge.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing for me. It's like too big for me, and I'm not a big truck person. But other than that, I mean, it looks like it should be awesome.
It is a big truck. I mean, it looked the one picture I have of me standing next to it when I was down there, the rolling mule one. It's pretty big. It's actually, you know what? At the end of the day, it's probably no bigger. I know we talk about dimensions, and I know we're talking about the Cybertruck, and we should be. But I'll just end on this quickly.
Clickbait.
Once again, Craig, Mark. I don't know why I called you Craig. Mark, you don't know what clickbait is. Okay, you know what?
I'm just reading the comment. That's not me. I was just reading one of the comments. That was it.
Where do you see clickbait? I don't see it.
If you push the chat. Thank you. You see? It wasn't me. I was just repeating what the thing was, and I'm like, who's this butthead?
Where? I don't see it.
On the very bottom, you don't see it.
No.
Even
Most
Ryan
recent-
can see it.
Oh, okay, I see it. Oh, well, look at who it's from.
Exactly. I'm not saying his name because I'm not going to plug him.
Exactly. That's why I did the same thing. And Ryan, if you don't know who that guy is, don't even bother. He's I don't know what to say. If he shows up in this podcast before it ends, you'll meet him. But other than that, I dare him if he's got the balls to come on the podcast. But anyways, before we get
like what?
too
Why
far
are you
off
not even here?
Before we go too far off the rails, towing. Were you able to see anything that resembled? I know it's got the panel on and stuff like that. Were you able to see anything that resembled that there may be? I know what the manual says. We've all talked about it and stuff like that. Other people, but did you see anything, Ryan, that gives us a glimmer of hope?
Just the fact that it has that very obvious cover. That's like, why else would that be there? We were going to look under the car, and he was actually he might even send me a photo because he's super into it and wants to like take it off and see what's in there and what's underneath the car. We didn't do that. We were tight on time, but yeah, I don't know. I think we'll probably hear about it in a few weeks, and it'll be something you can add if you want. It's probably not going to come with the tow receiver. I bet not, at least for a while. But if you want to get it retrofitted, I think it'll be a thing because it makes so much sense. And then why else would that little thing be there, that cover?
Yeah. And wasn't there a manufacturer test one driving down the road that someone saw that actually had a hitch on it?
Yeah, there's been
with the bikes on it. Yeah,
with a bike, like a dirt bike, and then some just with the hitch by itself. And yeah.
So, see, I screwed up because I told you I saw it again today, and I had the opportunity to go walk around. But yeah, and I forgot about trying to pop that off.
Once again, you're touching a car that's not yours. I'm glad you didn't pop it off.
I may or may not have had permission to do that.
Yes,
so.
I wish you had. Yeah, next time. You see this car so often. I'm sure you'll have another opportunity. No, there's getting back to the towing part. There's got to be now whether they'll release the actual official tow numbers, who knows, or the tow rating, but there's got to be something because they've got to. This car will appease a lot of the European owners, and they're all about towing, right? They're not going to get many orders for the Cybertruck in Europe, so they'll have to do with this one, in my opinion. Speaking of towing and stuff like that, any word when you're looking inside there, Ryan, on the off-road mode? Did the owner mention anything about if he or she or they tested out that off-road mode?
No, I was there when they delivered it and drove it out of Tesla, and then we drove 8 minutes away. So,
that was like right away?
Yeah, that was the first thing they did in the car was
it was that
let me video. So, so they didn't test off-road mode. I'm sure they're going to soon. But I know it's included. Like it's standard. I've seen everyone that's got it delivered. They open it up and it's there on the screen. So.
Yeah, it would be nice to see. Like, is it because it's not adjustable, right? The suspension.
No, it's not.
No. It seems to just be with the way that it's dealing with the drive. And traction.
I used to off-road, right? So I used to I built a Jeep that was for off-roading, and what it was like when you go off-roading is it opens up the differential a certain way so that the tires can spin to give you the traction and the other one won't go. So I wonder if it does something with the motor. That would be interesting because it's the same motor like us, the 3, right? Mm-hmm. So it's off-road somehow manipulates that motor to allow the axles to be more free.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, and just the ground clearance is at least a little bit higher, so it's something they're willing to add. Versus they wouldn't necessarily want to encourage people to be off-roading in their 3s.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah, you got the ground clearance, like you said. Now, I doubt very much. This will be the last question, then we'll start to wrap it up unless you guys have any questions amongst us. Any word, or I guess you couldn't, but maybe I'll get your opinion more or less is the question I'm asking. You know how they were supposed to change the wiring to make it more efficient and more less wiring than the 3? I I'm assuming you didn't get a chance to see any wiring.
No.
To rip off any panels.
Yeah.
Tear up the carpet. Yeah.
What 4-mile car, and he's already
he just drove it off the Fremont lot. Or wherever it was.
No, I didn't. But someone's that guy on the Tesla Motors Club, his username's Silversmith. He's posted photos. He took off all the panels on the front.
Oh, okay. I talked to him a couple days ago to use some of his photos, and he gave me permission in my last video. So it seems like a nice guy, but I didn't see those photos yet. Were they recent?
Like the last couple days.
Okay, that's
maybe yesterday.
Right. Yeah, that's why I haven't seen it in a while. But yeah, he was a nice guy. Is
that the one he took the frunk right out? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, he took out the frunk and then all the panels above the storage space. And
I gotta check that out. Yeah. Oh, speaking of those storage spaces, did you get a chance to see the weld? Those two different levels of welds? Or I know sometimes in a video you can't tell, or in a picture you can't.
In the trunk, you mean?
In the trunk, yeah, those welds.
Yeah.
Are they pretty deep?
Are you talking the side ones or the actual like under storage big compartments?
Both. I was actually talking to the middle.
They're all pretty good. The under storage, it seems like you could put a carry-on suitcase plus have a little bit more, and that's just a size that people know. We had a backpack that was probably 5-6 inches thick, and it fit down there to the point where, like, when I was videoing and looking down, you didn't even see the backpack.
Yeah.
And then the other one's probably about 5 inches or so before it gets to the lid. So it's not as much, but it's pretty deep. And then the side wells are, they're pretty deep and spacious. You'd be able to fit, I can't think of a good example, but you could fit a bag. Certain backpacks would fit in there if they're small enough width-wise.
Yeah.
You mean in the side wells? Yeah.
Like if it scrunches down the backpack,
Okay, because your arm was, I think, around here to the bottom, and I put like the washer fluid in there, and it still sticks out. So from what I saw from your arm, you could probably go down there.
It seems like that. Yeah, it seems like that would fit and just stay there.
Yeah. Nice. And this too, because us, we have the subwoofer and everything on the right side.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, this is a family show, eh, Franklin?
I'm trying to wrap it up. Franklin, Mother Frunker, welcome to the podcast. I'd like you to
how's it going?
And we're off. Close it. We're shutting it down now.
No, we
I've
are
been here with you guys the whole time. I've just been working.
I know. He has actually been here the whole time. Yeah, but we are wrapping it up soon. But I just wanted you, while I got you guys, I'll introduce you to. I don't know if you've met each other before. Ryan, Franklin, Ryan.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Likewise. Yeah. So I just wanted to pop in and say hi before you guys left. So that's all.
Okay. Thanks for doing that. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
that's my green screen. I just don't have it all set up fancy today.
That's why I said Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's the first thing I noticed. Yeah.
And then there's my dog, my front puppy.
Your front puppy. Now, you'll be able to fit a lot of dogs in the Y when you get. I don't know if you know, Ryan. Franklin's ordered 16 Ys, so he should be
16.
No, he canceled 2. It's 14.
14 now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, times are tough now, right?
Yeah. Yes. No.
All right. I gotta run. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay. Thanks for gracing us with your presence. I appreciate it.
Everyone remember to thumbs up the video. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye, buddy. Franklin Mother Frunker is one of our regular contributors to the podcast, and so he just came in quickly to say hi and disturb our ending. But he does a lot. I was obviously kidding, Ryan. He doesn't have 16, but he does have 2. Is it 2 or 3, Mark?
I think it was actually 4.
Is it really 4?
Yeah.
No, all jokes aside. Okay.
No,
I thought it was 3.
I'm pretty certain it was.
Does
4.
he have like something he does with him, like business-wise?
No, he thinks the robo-taxi was going to be bigger than what we. I mean, it was going to be coming along faster, but he also thought the Ys probably weren't going to show up till next year. So he thought by that time robo-taxis were there, and I'm going to make bank on it. Is what he was thinking.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Cancel penalty.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
I told him he should flip them now because I mean, a few things have already gone up a few $1,000. So I'm like, sell your pre-order for $500. Someone will still get a deal, and you get a bit of a cash.
Is it transferable though?
I don't. I know a lot of people did that with the 3. So because afterwards they gave up because remember the government in Canada, we had a big incentive, then they canceled it. So a lot of people said, I don't want the 3 anymore. So they sold their reservation between $500 and $1,000. I never bought any like that way, so I don't know if they actually got the money for it or what.
I get you.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, that wraps up another. Unless you guys have any other questions or any other comments.
But Craig Thomas does, and he's saying thank you everybody for the show. Do you do this every week at the same time?
Yes. Well, we try to do it every week. I missed last week, but we try to do it every week, and we're trying to nail down a proper time. No, this is one of the earlier times. I know you're in Seattle there. Stay safe in Seattle there, Craig. Trying to get to a centralized time. This is one of the ones we're doing actually earlier, and we're doing live. But this is. We'll see how this works out. I'd like to get a standard time every day, every week, but with everyone's schedules and the way things are going, I can't say that we will be here next week at this exact time, but hopefully next week we'll be putting on another show. Just stay tuned. Check out the channel. Check out the podcast audio channels for updates and stuff like that. But no, thanks for anyone that was in the live stream that contributed or just came in. I know how it is. Sometimes you come in for 5 minutes, you go back out because you've got something to do, and then you maybe come back later. Thanks. They can obviously watch this on repeat at any other time. My big thanks to Ryan Shaw for joining us and bringing us all this kind of valuable information about the Model Y. Where can I mean, I know, but for maybe some people, where can people find you, Ryan, if they want to check out more of your content?
Yeah, the main thing is YouTube. My channel's just my name, Ryan Shaw, and if you can't find it by searching that, just Ryan Shaw Model Y, it should come up pretty quickly. And then other than that, on Twitter at Ryan Shaw Tech. And then I do have a podcast called Tesla Regular, but it's been kind of on the back burner for a second, but I'm going to get back to it. So
yeah. Well, I was going to ask you when you're telling us a little story, and I got distracted on something else when you're telling us a little bit about yourself. I was going to ask you about the podcast. You were doing that for a little bit, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was doing it definitely more regular, like through like 3-4 times a week for a while. But then I moved. And I've been like, I'm finally getting settled, and then this whole thing's happening in the world. Yeah. So, but I'm hoping to get back to it pretty soon because, I can talk about things that aren't going to necessarily be talked about on YouTube. So
exactly. Cool. Well, once again, like I said, thanks very much. I appreciate it. Like I said, everyone, I know everyone's got busy schedules, busy lives, especially with what's going on currently. Even more grateful for you coming on, taking the time. But in general, even if it wasn't for what's currently going on, I just appreciate everyone coming on. I know I may not say it always to you, Mark, too, but I appreciate you coming on and all the regular guys like Paul and Franklin. I appreciate it. Where can people find you, Mark?
Simple enough. Tesla Backseat Baller against all platforms. I'm on Twitter and YouTube, obviously. Yeah. Still a small little guy. I think,
you're growing though, buddy.
You have like 10,000 more than me, and Ryan has like 18,000 more than me. So, because I think Ryan has like 15,600. I'm like, that's still more than me.
But you know what? We all started out there, right? We all started out there.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, I still think it's crazy where I'm at, but I remember getting to 1,000 and feeling like that was it. That was like the best thing in the world.
Well, it is. It's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. So that's crazy to look back.
Yeah, that 100 was like, it took forever. Then after the 100, like, oh, we're kind of steamrolling it. Not steamrolling, but we're moving a bit. And then stale. Then like I lose a subscriber and I start swearing it up and down, throwing the iPad across the room. And I gain a subscriber. I'm like, I was celebrating and popping champagne. You know, yeah.
Yeah,
no, it's like 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, 531. Come on, Zach. Like, who's counting? 531.
No, but I'm saying those are all the little milestones that we give ourselves for like our little achievements. It's like you said, 100, 500, then 1,000, then you become monetized hopefully, and then like I'm trying to crack 10, right? So it's and every step you go, it's harder. But the hardest one, from what everyone says, and I can attest, is always the first 1,000. That's the hardest. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. It's like the work. I mean, come on, you guys know it. That work you put in this, it's all you have to love what you're doing.
Yeah,
and I have fun on my channel because I love it, and it's like you're either gonna watch me for that silliness and fun or not.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So thanks, guys. Now, if anyone's watching who's gone down to the end of this, and you don't know, if you've been listening and you had no idea what videos we're talking about Ryan Shaw's video, like Ryan said, and we mentioned, go to his channel, check out his video about the Model Y where he has a hands-on, and Mark, the backseat baller, Google that on YouTube, and you'll also find his video where he went around the outside of the car, and he points out some interesting things. And these guys will bring more Tesla content, more Model Y content. Thanks for watching. That's all I got. You guys know where to find me and where I'll be next.
Sound, make sure you check him out too. If you already are, we're trying to get him to 10. Come on.
Yeah. And then somebody just came at the very, very last and said, thanks for the reviews. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on next one. This one's exactly how long I wanted it to be. Take care, folks. Bye.
Ryan, nice to meet you here. Take care. Thanks for having me on. Everybody
thanks for having me.